More than 500 climate scientists, policymakers, industry professionals, students and members of the public participated in the Transformational Climate Science conference hosted by the University of Exeter in partnership with the Met Office and University of Leeds. People from around the world attended the event, where the findings of the UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change Fifth Assessment Report were debated and discussed by speakers and delegates from every discipline involved in climate change research.
There are 3 working groups that work on whether or not the climate's changing, the impacts that it's going to have on the natural world and on society, and what to do about it, how to decarbonise the economy.
We have 3 key findings. Warming in the climate system is unequivocal. Man is responsible for that warming that we have observed in the past 60 years. And we also know if we want to limit climate change, we have to reduce substantially and in a sustained manner the emissions of greenhouse gases in the future.
There's no question that climate change is the defining challenge of our era. We see the challenges documented in great and painful detail in the IPCC report. But there's also no question that there are a wide variety of effective, compelling, and economically efficient solutions that can be deployed. And it's been exciting to explore those and to figure out where the opportunities are as well as the challenges.
Among those challenges is the risk that global temperatures could rise significantly, perhaps by 4 degrees on average over this century. The UN target is to limit that rise to 2 degrees. But how?
There are a lot of technologies already available: renewables, energy efficiency, carbon capture and storage, bioenergy in combination with carbon capture and storage, which could help us to reduce emissions. And in addition to that, to achieve negative emissions in the second half of the century.
A wealth of compelling evidence was presented by some of the world's most eminent experts at the 2-day conference. They identified some major frontiers for future research.
What we have learned in this report is that we would like to provide much more detailed information on regional climate change, because that is where the impacts will happen, that is where people are vulnerable.
A critical factor discussed at length is the need for global political action in rising to the challenges of climate change.
It does not cost the world to save the planet. The technologies are available, but the most important challenge is to get an international agreement and to get the carbon pricing around the globe right. So this is a huge challenge. And my feeling is the challenge is not primarily a technological one, it's a political one.
So how must the scientific agenda move forward?
The first thing is for science to communicate even more clearly what we know, which is quite a lot about the system. The second thing is to make use of our existing technologies like renewable energy more widely and to get the incentives in place for that. And the third thing, and this is required also to stay below the 2-degree target that international negotiations are trying to achieve, is to think radically about technological solutions and social solutions.
Such rallying calls offer hope among the challengers.
Today's issues about mitigation of climate change, that's fundamentally really important. How do we reduce energy? How do we actually think about our ethical responsibilities as nations? And that's quite hard to have as a debate in Australia and New Zealand at the moment in our media environment, which is pretty fixated on particular outcomes. This is an opportunity to think more broadly and to bring that learning and debate back to our own home communities.
At least for me, the most exciting result is the evidence that investments in adaptation and investments in mitigation can work together to build robust economies and vibrant communities.
Science never sleeps. The research community has moved on even since the publication of the IPCC reports. There are new findings come out all the time, new observations and new theories and methods.
While academics, politicians and stakeholders continue to debate the way forward, there is a growing awareness everywhere of these challenges. An online climate change course offered by the University of Exeter has already attracted more than 16,000 participants, a clear indication of just how important these challenges are to the next generation.